Good morning. So I thought I would pop on with you guys this morning and just tell you a little bit about my juicing journey, just while I'm prepping my juice for the day. So I've got my knife, which is key. Pop a 1 below if you're watching live and a 2 below if you're watching on replay. And I'm just going to prep my juice, and I thought I'd just talk to you while I'm here. So I'm sure there'll be a few that log on in a bit. So I am on a juicing journey at the moment, for those of you that don't know. And yeah, there's a few reasons I'm doing it. So I'm just going to get a different knife. The main reason is for health, because I just got to the point where I was feeling so sluggish and just eating so much rubbish, really. So I came across juicing about 4 years ago, I think it must have been. And at that point, when I first discovered it, it was a book called Jason Vale, £7 in 7 Days. And I was at the point where I was drinking, probably, this was about 3 years ago, and I wasn't as overweight as I was this time last year, but I was in a pretty bad way, but it was more for the point that I was drinking about a litre and a half of Diet Coke a day, which is just awful because it's got so much rubbish in it. So when I came across that book, I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just going to do the 7 days, and that was it then. Those 7 days that I did that juice reset for, that juice cleanse, those 3 years ago, that stopped me from drinking Diet Coke. The first 3 days were pretty hideous because I went through, obviously you go through a detox, especially where I was drinking so much Diet Coke at that point. So I went through a detox, and the first few days I had a really bad headache. But after that, I just stopped craving Diet Coke, and it is honestly, it's so bad for you. And that was about 3 years ago, and I've pretty much only had about 3 or 4 Diet Cokes in the space of the last 3 years, which is brilliant because it is addictive. Like, stuff like that is addictive because it's got so much caffeine in it. And before you know it, you just escalate. And do you know why it happened? Was also because I think I was doing something like Slimming World, or I had been doing like Weight Watchers or something like that. And that's why I don't really advocate these diets. Like, I know different things work for different people, that's fine. But with those types of diets, it's all low sugar stuff. So you're still able to have the treats, if you like, but they're low sugar. So what happens then is you replace it with something with low sugar, like Diet Coke, or I don't know, low fat something, but actually there is so much rubbish in that Diet Coke. You're better off having the full fat stuff, but less of it. So I think that's what had happened. I think I'd done some sort of diet like that, and then it just escalated, and before I knew it, I was addicted to this Diet Coke, and it was absolutely ridiculous. So when I did my first juicing week, it was then. And I stopped drinking Diet Coke. I've certainly never got addicted to it again since. Probably had like 4 or 5 over the last 3 or 4 years, nothing major. If I do fancy an odd treat like that, then I will have like a normal Coke rather than Diet Coke. And then I've done various, like, I always incorporate juice into my diet, mainly as many days as I can, because I have, like, this is going to sound really stupid, but I have a fear of and phobia. I just have never eaten vegetables. Mum said I stopped eating them when I was about 2 years old, and I can't have them on my plate. I don't know what it is. I need to get over it. I really do, because I tell the kids to get over it, because no matter what my habits are like, I've always fed them to the kids. So the kids have got really good diets, most of them. Eva's a bit fussy. She's like me. But yeah, most of the kids, like, they'll all eat a plate of veg if you put it in front of them. It's really bizarre. So from that point on, juicing was a way for me to get in the goodness. So I've got a really itchy eye this morning. Get in the goodness that that I couldn't or wouldn't eat on my plate. So, but the point then, how long ago was it? Probably, it must have been longer ago that I did that 7-day one, because 3 years ago, 2015, January, I did a 28-day juice detox. That was my first one. And at that point, I was so head down focused. I did 28 days. I even went to Paris on a work trip. I made all my juices, I froze them, I took them with me. We were doing like long days, and you know, I really just was head down and stuck to it. And I think I lost 22 pounds on those 28 days. And what I found was I never felt so amazing. Like, I really did feel so great. Had so much energy, my cravings had gone, and actually by the end of the 28 days, I didn't want to start putting caffeine and stuff back into my body. But then obviously, you know, you start having a little bit, and then it just, over time, it builds up again. So although I incorporate juice into my diet every day, this for me was like, I'm doing another 28 days, because I'd got to the point where I've never ever seen numbers on the scales like it. And over the last year, so this time last year, I started healthier habits, and I started introducing essential oils into my day and stuff, and into my diet. And I started eating better. I was having less cravings, and I actually lost about 21 pound last year. But that last half a stone, I kept fluctuating, and I couldn't get below that. It's just because there's always something going on, isn't there? There's always something happening. So I decided that I needed a real boost, and I've done things like Cambridge before and Light to Life, and I just thought, you know what, those shakes to me are just full of rubbish. There's no goodness in it. If I'm going to do something drastic, then over like the month, then I would much rather do juicing, because at least with juice I'm fueling my body with fresh fruit and veg, and it's stuff that I would never ever put on my plate. So for example, today I'm just prepping, so I've got, you see my fridge is nice and healthy at the moment. So we've got beetroot in today's, we've got pineapple, I've got spinach in one of them, I've got berries. But you don't want them, if you're going to do just fruits, you don't want them all, if you're going to do just juicing, you want to make sure that they're a good combination of fruit and vegetables. And actually, vegetables sound rank, but in a lot of them, you don't even know they're there. So, yeah, so I've got asparagus, lime, celery, spinach, cucumber, like that. It's just stuff that I would never ever put on my plate. So for me, it helps me it gives me a boost, because it helps me, you know, I lose some weight, which is always a bonus. And someone said to me the other day, well, surely that can't be sustainable. And no, juicing all the time isn't sustainable forever. However, it is about resetting my habits. So if I can reset those habits, get rid of the cravings, like get rid of, you know, I'm not saying I'm never going to drink wine again and stuff like that, because I am, you know, it is going to happen. But by having this month out, it is just going to allow me to, you know, get back on a healthier path. So that's the aim. So I actually haven't prepped anything. So if you've been thinking about juicing, then just, like, you don't have to go all in and do like silly 28 days like me, because that's not how I started. But what I find is when I get to the 3 days, I'm just starting to come out the other side. So he did do a 3-day, Jason Bell does a 3-day juice, but that wasn't enough for me. Like, I thought I'd gone through the hard days of like getting rid of the cravings. So I didn't want to then, I didn't want to then just stop. So I felt like the 7 days was good for me. 5 days is a really good place to start, or you can just start by introducing it and just start by replacing your breakfast. That's going to be really, really beneficial. He's got loads of free apps, loads of like books. The apps are great. I use the apps. He's also got a Facebook page where there's loads of recipes and stuff, so you can go and have a look on there. You can get a lot of those on there for free. So yeah, just start replacing your breakfast with it, and just start introducing it into your diet, especially if your diet isn't great. And I find that whatever I start my morning with really then leads my cravings for the rest of the day. So a great way to start the morning is your lemon water. So have a litre, oh it's upstairs. I've got like a mason jar, litre mason jar, and I pop a couple of slices of lemon in it, leave it overnight, and then the next morning I will just drink that first off. And the aim is to drink it in under 2 minutes, because then that really flushes your system. And then after that, start the morning with celery juice, which I'm not going to lie, it's rank. Like, I don't do celery. I really struggle with it, but if you like celery, then you might like it. I don't like celery, and I'm still managing to do it, but the health benefits of that are incredible. But you need to drink it on an empty stomach after your water, and then have a juice mid-morning. Before you know it, you've cut out like 3 cups of coffee and your morning toast and 10 ton of butter. Like that's what it is for me. So even after the 28 days, I will be still having that morning routine. And he also does a 5-2 option as well, which is really good. And he also does juice and soups. So I'm going to start introducing some soups after my 28 days are up as well. So that's it. Just thought I'd share a little bit about my juicing journey. And I will catch you soon.